focused and fearless. Here's everything you need to know this rush hour of June 17, Monday. I'm Riza Diaz. Rainy season is here, but rain showers are not enough to fill the Angat Dam. And because of that, Metro Manila may soon face rotational water interruptions. Shaila Francisco will tell us more.
The water level at Angat Dam has dipped further to just over 3 meters above the critical level due to insufficient rain volume.
Ang characteristic kasi ng localized thunderstorm or thunderstorm is 1 to 2 hours lang. Bukod nga sa hindi sapat, hindi naman siya eksaktong bumabagsak within the watershed.
If the dry weather continues, Pag-asa says the dam reserve may already reach the critical level at 160 meters. This means lower and murkier water supply for Metro Manila residents. To conserve water, the National Water Resources Board has reduced Metro Manila's allotment from 48 cubic meters per second in May to 46 cubic meters per second this month.
Baka sa susunod na linggo ay magkaroon na tayo ng karampatang desisyon na magkaroon ng adjustment sa allocation po.
Maynila says it has already started implementing water interruptions last Tuesday during off-peak hours to 30% of its customers.
Depende po sa magiging level ng turbidity na darating sa amin or depende rin dun sa volume of water na i-allocate sa MWSS. Ito po yung magdidictate kung gaano kahaba ang posibleng maging rotational water interruption na gagawin namin. Kung hindi na po namin kaya sa gabi, kailangan na po namin mag-execute nito during peak hours.
Manila Water says its customers may also experience similar water interruptions.
Baka yung nabigyan mo na dati ng mga 24 hours, maaring umikli, no? Yung dating nakakakuha ng 16 hours, baka mamaya 12 hours or even less.
Both distributors plan to activate deep-wells to augment the water supply in Metro Manila. Shaila Francisco, VR1 News.
Now, to give us the latest on the weather, we have with us from Pag-asa weather forecaster Benny Estareja. Benny, what are we expecting today on a Monday? Is there going to be rain?
Good morning, Riza, and to all our viewers. For today, we're expecting some cloudy skies with scattered rains and thunderstorms over Batanes and Babueng group of islands, as well as the province of Palawan due to habagat or southwest monsoon. Well, for the rest of Luzon, including Metro Manila, we're expecting there will be less chances of rains. But if in case there are rains, these are mostly localized thunderstorms, and they are mostly occurring on the afternoon or evening.
Benny, since Pag-asa has already declared the start of the rainy season last Friday, are we expecting some tropical storms, cyclones in the next coming weeks, perhaps in the next coming months?
For this month of June, we're expecting at least 1 or 2 tropical cyclones. But based on our model forecast and based on our analysis, there's a low chance of having 2 tropical cyclones for this month of June. There's a cloud cluster over the southeastern part of Mindanao, which may turn into a tropical cyclone by the end of this month.
Benny, the habagat also brings a lot of rain. Should that be in full effect? Do we feel its effect already, starting, of course, today?
For starting today and then in the coming weeks, in the coming days, there's a low chance of habagat persisting because there's a reach of a high pressure area, so there's less chance of rains, of continuous rains, but there are still chances of localized thunderstorms.
Benny, Luzon is clearly affected by the habagat. Is it the same thing that our brothers and sisters are expecting in Visayas and Mindanao?
Over Visayas and Mindanao, they don't really experience habagat, mostly western part of Visayas only. But then for Mindanao, there's the intertropical convergence zone, which could persist for the next 3 to 4 days, and they could experience some scattered rains as well.
Benny, other than the ITCZ, are we looking into other weather systems?
There's a chance of the cloud clusters over southeastern part of Mindanao going near that part of Mindanao and then eastern Visayas, which could be a low pressure area and could bring some rains. But apart from the ITCZ and the low pressure area and then the habagat, there are no other weather disturbance or weather systems.
All right, thank you very much. There you have it, Benny Estahera, weather forecaster from Pag-asa. Now, after over a week of no clear response from the executive chief regarding the incident at the Recto Bank, President Duterte is set to meet with the fishermen of the rammed FB Game Ver. JC Cosico has the report.
More than a week after the ramming incident in Recto Bank, President Duterte will reportedly meet with some of the crew of MV Gemver. San Jose, Occidental Mindoro Mayor Romulo Festin says Duterte will personally visit Junel Insigne, the captain of the fishing boat, and its cook Richard Blaza. Duterte, who is known for going off script in his speeches, has since spoken in at least 3 events over the past week without any mention or comment on the incident. There have also been varying statements from cabinet members regarding a supposed meeting on the matter. Energy Chief Alfonso Cusi and Defense Chief Delfin Lorenzan have said that there will be an emergency cabinet meeting to discuss the maritime incident with China. But Executive Secretary Salvador Medaldea says no special meeting has been agreed upon. Palace spokesman Sal Panelo, on the other hand, says he has no information on the said meeting. The government's economic team security cluster meanwhile will meet to discuss the incident without the president. The crew of FB Gemver denied claims of the Chinese embassy that there were 7 to 8 Filipino ships that surrounded the Chinese vessel. They add that their boat was running at half the speed of the Chinese ship before they got hit.
Hindi po totoo yun dahil wala po ganun karami na nakasama namin. Takot po kami dahil malaki po silang lansya nila.
The fishermen are now asking for help in bringing back their means of livelihood and, if possible, keep Chinese vessels out of Philippine waters.
Kung maaari lang po sana, yung pag paalisin nila lang muna yung mga Vietnam, yung Chinese fishing vessel. Kasi baka hindi lang sa amin mangyari yun, sa ibang mga katulad din namin may isda eh.
Kahit ano po na manggagaling po sa ating gobyerno, na makakatulong po sa amin, natanggapin po na kahit hindi na po yung hustisya, yung tulong na lang po na para makapagsimula po ulit kami.
The local government of San Jose is now asking President Duterte to personally oversee investigations on the incident. Robredo is now urging the Department of Foreign Affairs to demand the Chinese government to present those responsible so that they can face trial in a Philippine court. Senior Associate Justice Antonio Carpio likewise renewed calls for a stronger stance on the issue against China. He calls the incident an offensive act meant to drive away Filipino vessels from the disputed territory. The Filipino-Chinese Chamber of Commerce and Industry meanwhile vowed to provide assistance to the 22 fishermen who lost their means of livelihood after the ramming incident. Aside from this, the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources also pledged to give them fiberglass boats.
But at any rate, kung makano bang talagang kailangan natin sila dyan, we will try to also to ascertain. That's why we will be keeping in touch with the fishermen. Mga pagkain nila, lalo sa bigas na yan, ako nang bahala dyan. At least alam nila, hindi na sila magugutom during the time of the rehabilitation.
Now, we also have a satellite image of the position of the vessels from one of the dailies, and it seems to be favoring the story of the Pinoy fishermen. UP Institute for Maritime Affairs Director J. Batumbakal tells the Philippine Star satellite data showed that only a few fishing vessels were near the Recto Bank last June 9. The satellite image contradicts claims that the Chinese took second thoughts in rescuing the Filipino crew for fear of getting swarmed. Based on the image, the 2 closest ships were 3 to 5 nautical miles or 7 to 9 kilometers away from the Chinese vessel. Meanwhile, in Cebu, 15 barangays are getting 5 million pesos each for various local projects and equipment. According to the Free Man, these are barangays of Agsugot, Buhisan, Careta, Guadalupe, Camputao, Lahug, Pahina Central, and Pasil. Also included in the 15 are towns of Poblacion or Poblacion Pardo, Sambaguan, San Antonio, San Nicolas, Prosper, San Roque, Sapang Daku, and Sirao. Now, the budget for the barangays will be taken from Cebu City's 400 million general fund. It will be used for the construction of water tankers and evacuation center, repair of public facilities, and purchase of CCTV equipment, among others. And this from Filipino Star ngayon. Consul General Antonio Morales is advising Filipinos staying in Hong Kong to avoid going to the state's central and business districts where protests against the extradition law are taking place. That's because, according to the consul, the demonstration can easily become violent, as seen in the outcome of the massive protests in Hong Kong last week. And as a result of the massive protests, Hong Kong leader Carrie Lam has apologized to her Filipino or her people on Sunday as over 1 million protesters flocked to the streets to clamor for her resignation. That's after Lam's delayed the passing of the extradition bill on Saturday following the series of demonstrations in the territory. However, this did not appease the protesters who are still demanding the full withdrawal of the bill. They also rallied on Sunday to mark their anger at the police brutality during the Wednesday's protests, where 70 people were injured by rubber bullets and tear gas. Let's fast break now to Sports Rush. Gilas Pilipinas Under-19 team is set to leave for Greece to compete in the 2019 FIBA Under-19 World Cup this month. But before their scheduled fight, a group of country's elite squad visited the Batang Gilas to give the young athletes some words of encouragement. The youth national team were eager to listen to the tales of the Scout Rangers who fought and survived the Marawi siege for our country's honor. Meanwhile, the Chooks to Go Pilipinas 3x3 Patriots Cup kicked off their first leg with the sinulog inspired in SM Seaside Cebu Sky Park. Now, but aside from the lavish opening, league owner Ronald Mascareñas upped the ante by announcing that the team that gathers the most points in all of the 5 legs will qualify for the qualifying draw of the 2019 Jeddah Masters. And the runner-up will not miss out as they will automatically be seeded in the Xiongjan Challenger. Now, 12 teams are set to bring intense half-court action in 4 pools, while the finals spiced up with a 3-point shootout and a slam dunk contest. Meanwhile, here are stories to watch out for later today. The captain of the FB Gemver that was hit by a Chinese vessel last June 9 is set to meet with President Duterte. UV Express drivers and operators will stage a protest at the Quezon City Regional Trial Court in time for the hearing of the petition for TRO on the LF or LTFRB's implementation on the point-to-point scheme. And do you have tickets already? Signal Entertainment's Millennials will premiere later at 6 p.m. in SM Mega Mall. And that's how the day is shaping up to be. Join us again next time for another round of Rush. I'm Riza Diaz. We are One News.